right, so everyone's been talking about Olympiakos and their big win over AEK, and we've got all these Greek sports articles right here to help us break it down.
Yeah, it wasn't just any win.
No.
It was 4-1.
It was a statement.
A real statement, and everyone in these articles seems to agree on that.
So get ready, because we are going deep on this one.
What I find interesting is just how much this match has gotten everyone talking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just about Olympiakos winning or the scoreline.
Right.
These articles are really diving deep into like the tactics, the players, and even, what this means for both of these teams going forward.
So we're not just looking at who won or lost, but like what this match tells us about where things are going in the Super League.
Exactly. Think of it like we've got this puzzle,
Okay.
and this match is just one piece.
Gotcha.
But if we look at all the little details, we can start to see that bigger picture.
Love it.
How these teams are playing, where they might be headed.
Right. So let's start putting those pieces together. Okay. Basics first. Olympiakos beat AEK 4-1 on match day 12.
Yep. Stoximan Super League.
Right there on Olympiakos' home turf.
Gеоргиos Καραϊσκάκης Stadium.
That puts them right at the top of the table, just 1 point ahead of PAK. Tight race.
But I'm guessing these articles are going way deeper than just like the numbers here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They're breaking down everything from the tactical decisions by Olympiakos all the way to, what was going on with AEK.
Yeah.
Their defense especially seemed a little shaky.
Well, and speaking of surprises, I think we have to talk about Yusuf El Arabi's hat trick.
Oh, yeah, 3 goals in 1 match.
Huge.
That's massive. And yeah, it really seemed like he found some weaknesses in AEK's defense.
It sounds like he totally exposed them.
He did, and the articles really get into how those goals happened, especially the second and third.
Interesting.
AEK made some pretty big defensive errors, and Olympiakos, with their coach Michel, they were ready to take advantage of those mistakes.
So tactical awareness was key for Olympiakos. Big time.
So speaking of tactics, I noticed Michel, he started with almost the exact same lineup from when they won against PAK. Just one change. Mathieu Valbuena came in to replace Kostas Fortounis.
Interesting.
Was that like a calculated move based on how AEK usually plays?
That is exactly what a lot of these articles are debating. They're really focused on Lazar Anilovic.
Okay.
And him being in this unusual position on the right wing. He's normally a left winger, so this really raised some eyebrows.
So some people are seeing it as like a risky gamble, but others are saying it was genius.
Like a stroke of genius
by
Michel. And that he did this to specifically target AEK's weaknesses.
So it wasn't just about having talented players.
Right.
It was knowing how to use them to exploit the other team's weaknesses.
Exactly. It's like a game of chess out there.
I love that.
Every move is planned out.
Oh, yeah.
To get some kind of advantage.
All right. So we're seeing that Olympiakos' win wasn't just luck or individual skill. It was a real combination of strategic planning.
For sure.
Taking advantage of AEK's mistakes.
Absolutely.
But let's flip things around for a second and focus on AEK.
Okay.
I mean, was this just an off day for them, or were there deeper issues at play?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
And a lot of these articles are trying to figure that out.
Okay.
They describe an AEK team that looked overwhelmed by how intense Olympiakos is playing.
Okay.
They were struggling to create chances and just looked disjointed.
So not their usual style.
No, not at all.
Do these articles give any explanations for why they seem so off their game?
Well, there are a few ideas out there.
Okay.
Some people are saying that AEK's midfield got completely overrun by Olympiakos.
Really?
And that stopped them from controlling the pace of the game.
Gotcha.
So basically, they couldn't build up any attacks.
So Olympiakos took control of the midfield and basically threw AEK off their game.
Pretty much, and prevented them from playing how they usually play.
So this midfield battle was crucial.
Oh, yeah, that's what a lot of the articles are saying.
Okay.
They say that Olympiakos' midfield duo, Jan Mikvila and Andreas Bichalakis, they were dominant in winning the ball back and really dictating how the game went.
Interesting. So even though El Arabi's goals are getting all the attention, it sounds like that battle in the midfield was really the foundation for Olympiakos.
It's like they won the war in the middle of the field, which let their attack do its thing.
It's a team sport.
Exactly.
And this seems like a perfect example of how a well-coordinated team can beat individual talent.
Absolutely. And that's something that the post-match reactions really highlight.
Okay, let's hear about those reactions. What are the coaches and players saying?
Well, without naming names,
of course,
winning coach, he's obviously talking about his team's tactical success.
Sure.
Praising his players for sticking to the game plan.
Right, so he's giving credit to the team's preparation and how they adapted to AEK's style.
Yeah. And what about the other coach? I mean, he must have a different perspective.
I would think so.
Well, he's focused on his team's errors.
Right.
Especially those defensive mistakes that led to goals.
Yeah.
But he's also talking about the need to learn from this loss and bounce back.
So taking responsibility.
Yeah.
But also looking ahead.
Exactly.
But it's not just the coaches weighing in, right?
Nope. The journalists are all over this.
What are they saying?
Oh, there are tons of different opinions and interpretations.
Yep.
Some are focused on the tactical side of things.
All right.
How Michel outmaneuvered the other coach.
Interesting.
And led Olympiacos to control the game.
Okay.
Others are looking at individual players and their performances.
Gotcha.
And there's some surprising praise for players who might not have been in the spotlight.
So even though AEK lost, there were still some standout performances from their players.
Exactly. And that's what makes these deep dives so interesting. We're not just getting that surface level, who won and who lost.
Right.
We're getting a deeper understanding of the individual plays and tactical decisions that shaped the whole match.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
That's a great way to put it.
Revealing all those hidden complexities.
And we've got more layers to peel back as we keep going.
Oh, I'm sure we do.
There's a lot of discussion about whether AEK's performance was just like a fluke.
Okay.
A one-off bad game.
Right.
Or if it shows some deeper issues within the team.
So is this just a stumble for AEK?
Yeah.
Or is it a sign of bigger problems?
Exactly. And what does this win mean for Olympiacos?
And their ambitions.
In the Super League and in Europe.
Okay. So many questions.
So many questions.
We've got the stage set, the players are introduced.
Yep.
And now we've got the major talking points on the table.
Let's keep digging into these articles.
Yes. Let's see what other treasures we can find.
I love it. So let's get back to that tactical chess match and really break down how Olympiacos dominated this game.
Well, you mentioned that Michel's decision to put Ranilovic on the right wing.
That was a big part of that strategy. Why was that so smart?
Well, the articles explain that it was all about exploiting a weakness in AEK's defense.
Okay.
So AEK's left back,
Yeah.
Milad Mohammadi,
Right.
he loves to push forward, join the attack, but that leaves space behind him.
Gotcha.
And Michel noticed this.
Smart.
And saw an opportunity.
So he put Ranilovic, who's super fast.
Fast and direct.
Right on Mohammadi's flank.
Yep. To take advantage of that space.
It worked perfectly.
Like a charm.
Wow.
The articles say that Ranilovic's speed and that constant threat, it forced Mohammadi to be more cautious, which then disrupted how AEK usually attacks down that side.
It's amazing how these small decisions can have such a big impact on the whole match.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect.
Did the articles mention anything else that stood out about Olympiacos' game plan?
Oh, yeah. They highlighted how those midfielders, Muvila and Bouchalakis,
they were so important in controlling the pace of the game and stopping AEK from getting any momentum going.
So they were like a wall.
Yeah, they protected their defense and distributed the ball really well.
Giving their attackers a chance to shine.
Exactly.
So they had a strong base in the midfield.
A strong foundation.
And that let those attacking players do their thing.
Absolutely. And while El Arabi's getting all the attention for that hat trick,
it's hard not to.
I know.
3 goals.
The articles point out that Kostas Fortounis, who came in later in the game,
as a substitute,
he actually set up El Arabi's second goal.
Oh, wow.
And he really brought some energy to Olympiacos' attack.
So Michel knew how to use his bench.
Oh, yeah. He got the most out of his players.
Bringing in the right guys at the right time.
It's all about timing.
Was there anything else about Olympiacos that really impressed the articles?
They loved how strong their defense was.
Okay.
Especially Ruben Semedo. He shut down AEK's main striker,
Sergio Araujo.
Kept him quiet pretty much the whole game.
Wow. So it was a real team effort.
A total team performance. Everyone was on point.
A real masterclass in execution.
I like that.
Okay. But let's shift back to AEK for a minute.
All right.
We've talked about how poorly they played, especially on defense.
Right.
Did the articles get into what might have caused those issues?
They did.
Beyond just individual mistakes.
Yeah, and this is where things get interesting.
Yeah.
They say that AEK's midfield was totally overrun.
Wow.
By how intense and organized Olympiacos was playing.
Interesting.
Which meant they couldn't get their usual passing game going.
So they couldn't play their style.
No, and that messed up everything else.
Okay.
Even AEK's star player, Steven Zuber, who's known for his creativity, he couldn't do much because he was isolated.
They were out of sync.
Big time.
Did the article say anything about the reactions from the AEK side?
Oh, yeah.
How are they taking this loss?
There's a lot of disappointment and frustration in their comments.
Makes sense.
They admit they were outplayed,
yeah,
especially in the midfield, and that ruined their plan.
And what about their coach, Manolo Jimenez?
Oh, some people are questioning his decisions, like who he chose to start.
Right.
And why he didn't change things up.
Okay.
When Olympiacos was clearly in control.
So maybe he underestimated Olympiacos.
It's possible.
And their ability to disrupt AEK's game.
Maybe he focused too much on AEK's attack and didn't account for what Michel might do.
So it's like he was out-coached.
That's what some of the analyses are saying.
Wow.
That Michel was more flexible.
Yeah.
More adaptable.
Really interesting to see how one match can show us so much about a team.
Yeah.
Their strengths, weaknesses, and the battle between the coaches.
It's like a tiny version of the whole season.
I love that.
Packed into 90 minutes.
And this match really showed us where Olympiacos and AEK are right now.
Oh, yeah.
On the one hand, you've got Olympiacos.
Yeah.
They're playing with confidence. They're disciplined.
Sticking to the plan.
They're adaptable.
Overcoming challenges.
And then there's AEK.
Yeah. Struggling to get going, making mistakes.
Yeah.
People are questioning if they can keep up their good form from the start of the season.
It really makes you think how this one game could affect both teams going forward.
Doesn't it?
Will Olympiacos keep riding this wave?
Yeah.
And will AEK be able to recover?
The big quest.
Like a cliffhanger.
Right.
We saw the exciting part.
The climax.
But we don't know how everyone's going to react.
Exactly. And to understand that, we need to zoom out a little.
Okay.
Look at the bigger picture.
So how does this match affect the Super League title race?
Right.
What about their ambitions in Europe?
Those are the questions we'll look at next.
All right, so we've really broken down the tactics.
We have.
Analyzed the players. And even touched on how this match might affect both teams mentally.
The psychology of it all.
But now I think we need to zoom out.
Okay.
And think about what it all means.
The big picture.
In the grand scheme of things.
You're right. We need to go beyond just this one match.
Yeah.
What does it tell us about the Super League?
Right.
The power dynamics. And what about both these teams and their goals for, like, European competitions?
Olympiacos is in the Europa League this season.
They are.
And they're doing pretty well.
They are.
Did any of the articles connect their performance against AEK to how they're doing in Europe?
Some of them did.
Okay.
They suggested that a big win like this can really boost a team's confidence.
It's like a psychological thing.
Yeah, and that momentum can carry over to other competitions.
Interesting.
So Olympiacos might be able to use this win to fuel their European ambitions.
So they're feeling good.
Yeah.
And that could lead to even better performances.
It's all about that winning mentality.
It's contagious.
It is.
But of course, European football is tougher.
Oh, yeah. Much tougher.
The opponents are better.
The stakes are higher.
But still believing in yourself can make a big difference.
Huge difference.
No matter who you're playing.
Absolutely.
So Olympiacos seems to have found their groove.
They have.
Tactically and mentally.
Uh-huh.
But AEK is facing a lot of questions now.
They are.
Can they bounce back from a loss like this?
Yeah, or will it hurt their confidence going forward?
That's the big question.
It is.
Some articles say that AEK has what it takes to recover.
They've got the talent.
Right. Experience.
And their coach is good.
Yeah. He's seen it all.
But others are worried.
Worried that this loss might show some weaknesses.
Some cracks in the foundation.
That could really hold them back.
So this could be a turning point for them.
A crossroads.
This match could be a wake-up call.
To get better?
Or it could be the start of a downward spiral.
It could affect their whole season.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
I can't wait to see how it all plays out.
Me neither.
But before we finish up, there's one more thing I'm curious about.
We've talked about the coaches.
The tactics.
The players. But what about the fans?
Oh, the fans.
How are they reacting to all of this?
Well, the articles definitely capture their emotions.
I bet.
The Olympiacos fans, they're over the moon celebrating players of Michel.
They must be feeling pretty good about their chances of winning the title.
Oh, yeah. There's a renewed sense of belief there.
But for the AEK fans, it's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of disappointment.
I imagine.
Anger. Even disbelief.
At how their team played.
Some are saying things need to change.
Yeah.
Others are saying, be patient, stick with the team.
It's a good reminder that football is more than just a game.
It is.
For these fans, it's emotional.
It's their life.
They invest so much.
So much time, energy, passion.
And when their team loses.
Especially to their rivals.
It's tough.
It is, but it also shows how powerful football is.
Yeah.
To make people feel so strongly.
To bring people together.
Even in defeat.
So we've covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
We looked at the details of the match, what it means for both teams.
The fans.
And even the emotional side of things.
We did.
But as always, we want to leave you with something to think about.
Something to ponder.
We've seen how one football match can tell us so much about bigger trends in the sport.
It's a microcosm.
So as you keep watching this Super League,
keep these questions in mind.
First, how will this result change things for both teams going forward?
Will Olympiacos keep soaring?
Will AEK be able to recover?
Second, is this a sign of things to come?
Has Olympiacos found a winning strategy with Michel?
Or was this just a fluke?
And can AEK get back on track and challenge for the title?
We'll have to see.
Only time will tell.
It will.
But thanks to this deep dive, you'll be watching the rest of the season
with a sharper eye
and a deeper understanding of what's happening.
And remember, there's always more to learn.
Keep asking those questions.
Keep exploring.
And keep diving deep into the beautiful game.